Combining some of the previous steps that you've seen in videos, transformation and cloning, we're going to change this cube into something that's round. And to start out with, how we do that, I'll let you in on a little secret. By pressing the 3 key, that cube becomes a sphere. Excellent! 1, 2, and 3. 1 is the actual polygon surface. 2 is that bounding box of the polygon surface with the projection of subdivision object within it. And 3 is turning off that polygon cage around this object. View this smooth object. If I create a sphere like this, start out with, it's already very dense. This only has 4 sides, technically, like this, and this one has many different polygons. So unless I'm using a sculpting method, which we'll get into later this semester, this might not be a good object to start out with if we want a simple surface to be able to describe the volume that we're trying to create, because already too much information has been filled in. Let me delete that. By starting with a cube and pressing the 3 key again to see what the cube will look like, press the 2 key to see that bounding polygon cage around it. I'm going to right click and go to the sub-object component of face. And I'm going to select this face. And we've seen this in a previous video by holding down the shift key over an axis and dragging that axis up, we create new material. But now instead of looking like, well, gee, it's 2 cubes on top of one another, here it looks like a smoother surface. And now it's time to refine this shape. Let's rotate the viewport. So I'm going to orbit around. I'm going to right click, go to the vertex level, and use a marquee selection to select all these vertices in the middle. Then use the scale tool to scale up these vertices. Draw another marquee selection on top to select those vertices. Then use the scale tool to pull those in. So we can start creating interesting shapes pretty quickly. And they're still based upon, if I press the 1 key, this simple box. So this gives a flexible way to make refined surfaces. Our goal is to start to create a volume. Let me right click, select face again. I'm going to select this face up here. I'm going to right click and go to the face level. I'm going to select this face right up there. I had to click on this face to deselect those vertices. Now I'm selecting that face. I'm going to use the move tool, which is the W key. And then hold down the shift key and drag it up to build out some more surface area. Use the scale tool, which is the R key. Uniform scale it. W key for the move tool. I'm just going to move it before I extrude a little more. Orbit around, see how it's going. Right now I have either a pear, something that could be a cartoony face, or something that could be made into a penguin. As you look at the volumes, think about what you're trying to create. Right now I'm creating a simple vase. I'm going to hold down the shift key, and instead of extruding upward like this, I'm going to take this extrusion and push it inside, and then scale that. Scaling that face smaller. And now I have a symmetrical vase. And the cool thing is it's so low density in the polygon construction that I could take this into many different directions without being limited by the structure. So first create a volume, and then later on, as we explore the modeling tools, we'll get into the refinement of surfaces and adding more detail using different techniques for cutting away at the surface. Right now, have a little fun. Go to select vertices down here, marquee select, making sure I selected all those vertices. And I did that by orbiting around. I'll push those upward. If I want to do something a little more asymmetrical, I could just select one vertex. Just drag that up like this. Maybe I'll select this vertex and shift click on this vertex. They're both selected. And I'll use the scale tool. And I'll just scale those to further away from one another or closer to one another to create distortion. I'll do the same thing with the top. Marquee selection, which is just a click and left drag the mouse like that. Holding down the left mouse button as you drag. Selecting the move tool, which is W key, and just moving it around the vertex. It's becoming a very interesting looking volume. Select those 2 vertices and drag them up. And you can continue with this. This is the basic technique of modeling out volumes. We're going to repeat this and take care of some of the little details, such as how this still looks a little faceted. We'll take care of that. Adding a shader to this so we can make this look like glass or wax or some other material, and rendering it out, taking a snapshot using a render engine that will make this look a lot more realistic. And all those steps are coming up.